Hey guys, it's Rich with your Monday Spot and Pagan Perspective. This week we have two questions. They both come from Harper, who writes, do you believe in Godspousing? I saw a woman who said that she was in a romantic relationship with the Norse deity Loki. I have no problem with people saying that they have such relationships with gods, but the way she was so flamboyant about the relationship made it seem like she was trying to be cool in a way. How far do you think our relationships with deities can go, and how do we get to that point? Question number two is, what personal sources do you prefer when doing research? Is there a certain book, teacher, and or website that you use to receive information for research to make these videos? Second question first. I basically do a lot of Google searches. I believe it was last year we did the news opinion on the news articles for what happened in Alabama. I can't remember the exact case off the top of my head. There was an issue in Alabama that we did research for, and I went to that town's newspaper article on it. We also did one on, and this I believe again was last year, we did one on the Satanist statue that's in Tennessee, or being constructed, I believe it's in Tennessee. Maybe it's Kentucky. It's one of those states around that area. So whenever we actually do research on news, I actually go to the newspapers, like the articles that the newspapers have on their websites. On stuff such as, if we have a question on, we did one on Lady Liberty Leagues, if I can ever get that pronounced correctly the first time. On Lady Liberty Leagues, what we thought about their program and what all they've done, and do we support them, that kind of thing. Basically, a basic overview of the organization. I went to their actual website to get a lot of the information there. I also went to a couple of other websites talking about them and things that they've done for different organizations, stuff like that. For stuff such as today's topic with Godspousing, I actually went to a website that's a blog, I believe. I think it's a WordPress blog. Let me bring it up. Yes, it's a WordPress blog that talks about Godspousing and what it is, because I've never really researched or heard that term before. As for Godspousing, my whole thing is, to get to that point, you need to be immensely devout. To me, it almost sounds kind of the equivalent of a nun, where a nun takes a vow to, be devout to God, not have a relationship, vow of chastity, not necessarily with pagan deities. You don't necessarily take those same vows, but it's similar. It's kind of parallel to it, where you would take a vow to be the spouse of that god or goddess, depending on your gender and depending on orientation, that type of thing, or who you feel most connected to. So that's basically what Godspousing is. And to me, I have no problem with nuns, so I don't really have a problem with Godspousing. To me, the concept kind of seems a little odd, but that's not for me. That's not part of my path, so I have no reason to judge it one way or the other. I'm not really against it, because it's their way of being devout to their god or goddess. Just as I don't have a problem with nuns, but I'm not going to go become a nun or a priest, because that's not something that I feel called to do. I don't feel that devout to one deity to actually go into marital vows with them. So that's not something that I personally have ever even thought of. So it's not something I felt pulled towards. Not saying I'm not devout, I'm just saying that it's not something that would necessarily be for me. But for the people that actually have that type of devout relationship, there are firm ground rules that you really need to decide before going into something like that, because it is a very big burden. You not only take on that God, basically it's like you're not only marrying this person, you're marrying the entire family type deal. So whatever God you were to be devout to and go into these marital vows with, not only do you get that God, but you also get all of the rest of the pantheon. So you should have a good relationship with all the gods and goddesses of that pantheon before going into that type of situation. With any marriage, it's something that needs to be well thought out, and a lot of time spent with that god or goddess before you even have the notion of being a spouse of a god or goddess. So it takes a lot of thought before going into something like that. So basically, that's all that I have for this week's topic. So I think we're on again next week. Hold on here a second. I will tell you. Yes, I will be with you guys next week, and then the subs week after that. So until next week, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs, a good day and a better tomorrow, and may your ancestors be with you. Bye-bye.